Okay, good morning everyone. So now we're gonna go to the next chapter, chapter 3, and I'm gonna go to lesson 4 directly. So I'm not gonna discuss about lesson 2 and lesson 3, but lesson 2 and lesson 3, I will combine it with lesson 4, and I'm gonna split this lesson into two parts, which is lesson 4A and lesson 4B. So today, I'm gonna teach you about chapter 3, lesson 4A, which is the definition of derivative. Okay, you can open your book, page 85. Open your book, page 85. So let's review a little bit. Now, on chapter 1, I have taught you that actually the derivative, the verbal definition of derivative is instantaneous rate of change. Yeah, instantaneous rate of change. And on chapter 1, we learn to approximate it by using the average rate of change. Okay, so if I have a graph, this is x, this is y, and let's say that it's changing exponentially, like that. So basically, the phi average, before we use phi average, right? It means we are using the f of x2 minus f of x1 minus x2 minus x1 over x2 minus x1. So it has the x1 here, and let's say this is f of x1, and then we have f2 here, x2 here, and then we have f of x2 here. So that's the average rate of change. Basically, it's fx2 minus f of x1 over x2 minus x1. Okay. Now that we have learned about limit, so basically the definition of average rate of change is the rate of change of a value from the first condition to the second condition. So let's say that this is the first condition and this is the second condition. So basically we are trying to find the average rate of change from point 1 to point 2, that average rate of change. But we know from the principle of derivative, which is instantaneous rate of change, we know that actually instantaneous rate of change is the rate of change at an instant. It means at the same condition, what's the rate of change? How is your object going to move after that? So it means that actually, if we use the same formula, then it's gonna be f of x1 minus f of x1 over x1 minus x1, which is of course the result will be 0 over 0. Now, do you familiar with this? It's called indeterminate form, right? Indeterminate form. And in limit, we found it a lot of the math. In limit, we found a lot of indeterminate form. So now we're gonna use the concept of limit to find the exact value of a derivative. I will repeat. We will use the concept of limit to find the exact value of the derivative. So right now we are no longer approximating the value of the derivative, but we are trying to calculate to find the exact value of the derivative. Okay. So as you know that in instantaneous rate of change, basically we are trying to find the rate of change at an instant moment. So at the same moment. So we're gonna bring this point as close as to the starting point, right? So if this is delta x and this is delta y, So basically, we are trying to make the delta x approaching 0 to find the derivative. Okay, so that's when we use limit. So to make it general and more used by everyone, it's used generally. Let's change this into x, and this is x plus h. Okay, so this will be, so this point will be f of x, and this point will be f of x plus h. So this is x, and this is x plus h. So this is the h, and we are going to bring the h close to 0. So it means that we are going to bring this point as close to the original position. So if we use that, and we use the average rate of change, then we can actually say that instantaneous rate of change is equal, not approximately, but is equal to the limit of h approaching 0. The same principle. So f of x2 we change it into f of x plus h. F of x1 we change it into fx over x plus h is x2 minus x. Or if we want to simplify, then it's equal to the limit of h approaching 0 of f of x plus h minus fx over h. So this is what is called by mathematical definition of derivative. Okay, you need to memorize. So that's the mathematical definition of the derivative. Okay. Now remember, in the extra credit, I gave you a problem. Let's discuss it tomorrow. So before I end today's lesson, please open your book, page 89. So there are three terminologies that is used to say that we want to find the derivative of a function. Okay. So if y equals fx, then the derivative of y can be written as y prime, can be written as f prime x, can be written as dy dx as a single. It's not a division. Not division. So it's pronounced dy dx. Or the last one, it also can be written as ddx. I'm sorry. ddx of y. Okay. So this is an operation. It's like an operation. It's like sine y or cosine y or e power of y. So it's an operation, ddx of y. So all of these four terminology is used to determine the derivative of a function. Okay. So that's it for today. Thank you.